What happens when aliens attack? You get monsters. That's what happens in Monsters vs. Aliens in 3D. I have your review. Hi, welcome to Vaughn on Movies. I'm your host, Vaughn Fry, and I just recently saw Monsters vs. Aliens in 3D. The story concerns Susan Murphy, voiced by Reese Witherspoon, who, on her wedding day to a local newscaster, she encounters a meteor which kind of gives her some powers. In fact, she gets to be about 50 feet tall. She gets acquired by the U.S. government and sent to some secret area where they have other monsters, most of them not very human. Bob, he's voiced by Seth Rogen, and he's a gelatinous creature with no brain. Hugh Laurie plays Dr. Cockroach, Ph.D. Will Arnett plays the missing link. And kind of the leader of the squad, in a sense, is General W.R. Monger, voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. The story's fairly straightforward, but I like the structure with the multiple acts. A robot drone is sent by Galaxar, a alien of some sorts who's seeking a very rare element that is crash landing on Earth, and it's also responsible for Susan's growth spurt. And that first fight is pretty good, actually, and it starts out with giving you a good sense of depth for an animated film, and I thought that looked pretty good, and I particularly like the way they brought down that robot. I do think that the 3D thing was stressed a little silly at the beginning with a character using a paddle ball, and occasionally some other weird in-your-face kind of stuff happens. But for the most part, it was very smooth. If you're wondering, these are the glasses. Now, as you can see, they look kind of like sunglasses at the moment, but to kind of explain the real D cinema technology here, these are polarized, and if I turn my head slightly, you'll see that they become a little transparent, a little more so, and my theater kind of gave these out in a package and asked you to recycle them. I'm thinking in this economy I can hold on to these, bring them in next time, right? Maybe get a discount? Probably not. My impression of the film, I thought it was very good. I think that it was a little funny. Most of the humor was brought on by Blob, I believe. It was just that kind of out of left field, no brain kind of humor that he invoked, and I felt that there was more than an occasional reference to something else. But it's by the same studio that gave us Shrek, so you're going to kind of expect a lot of references to other movies and prior times, but for the most part, it wasn't as overbearing as Shrek in that regard. I thought the characters were fairly original, even though some of them you needed to kind of know a little bit about them, I guess. Like maybe we've seen tall women before. But for the most part, it was an entertaining film, and kind of the way I'm looking at the rating that they gave this is, the Pokemon video game and the Madden video game are both rated E for everyone, right? Well, it's not exactly a little kid film. It's kind of an for everybody film. The first trailer kind of made you think that bring the kids, and the second one was a little bit more grown up with a lot of dating jokes, and the movie contained a mix of both. So those of you wanting me to nitpick, there was 3 cases in the film that kind of raised some questions with me. One, it is established very quickly what a broken ankle looks like in this film, and it appears that Susan has a broken ankle. She then seems to magically have shoes for skates, and we never saw her jam her feet into these shoes to use them. She just started skating with shoes, and it's not something that really surprises me that she did that because she's 50 feet tall, I guess. But then no one addresses her ankle condition. Like, she never complains about it. She doesn't get taped up. She also gets dressed up everywhere she goes. Like, why is the alien Galaxar got this giant woman suit for her already? I guess I can kind of understand the U.S. government capturing her, but then they must have had some people working very quickly at the denim factory to get that ensemble together. Another point that kind of raises some questions with me is this mechanism where they had to do a Dance Dance Revolution sort of thing to unlock something exactly. I mean, I'm not really sure what that was about, but they had to guess a code by Dance Dance Revolution, and so they just miraculously guessed. I don't care what kind of degree the Dr. Cockroach has got, that's just straight up guessing. Not a big deal, but it's kind of become the norm, is having these big stars in these movies, and some of them are just using their regular speaking voice, like Reese Witherspoon and Seth Rogen, and I guess that's fine. I don't really recognize Miss Witherspoon's voice, off just hearing it. Seth Rogen, I could kind of tell who that was as soon as you hear the Blob. But I got to give a little bit of kudos to Hugh Laurie and Kiefer Sutherland for not just cashing this in. I mean, they kind of invented a character with their voices, and so got to give them a little bit of props. So overall, if you're looking for something to do with the family, I'm sure the kids are really going to like the look of this movie, and it's not completely dead brain. There's a lot of little niche moments in there. Some things I kind of found charming was the thumbs of the mother-in-law and the woman on the organ or the piano or whatever at that wedding. Just little touches like that, and overall it's a pretty pleasant film, so I recommend it. 3 stars. Go ahead and go see Monsters vs. Aliens in 3D. See you next time.